Ted, let's discuss the tax lien certificates. I'd like to have a really fresh view on that and potentially give some examples of people that have made money using that strategy, if that's possible.
Yes, tax certificates are the simplest kind of investment a person can make. And all they have to do is go online to the county of their choice. Now, we can give them a list of every county in the United States. There's 3,000 counties and there's 1,400 municipalities. All of them sell either a tax lien or a tax deed. So you find the list, you look at the price point that you want to buy at, okay, and then you go online and you buy that certificate. All right. All right. Now that certificate in Florida could pay 18%. It could pay 24 in other states. It could pay all the way up to 36%. So there'll be thousands of those certificates. For example, I'm in the state of Florida right now, and in Florida we have 18 million people. So we're almost as big as Australia in Florida with population.
That's mental.
We have 18 million, but we have 1 million property owners that didn't pay their tax, and all those auctions are coming up on the month of May. 1 million people didn't pay their property tax. They did not pay. So anybody can buy those certificates anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world.
Wow. It seems that there's such a large number of people that don't pay their taxes. I know here in Australia there is massive ramification if you don't pay your taxes, and I'm hearing what you're saying. It seems that it's the equivalent to council rates, which is property tax. So why is it that there is such a large number, do you think, of people not paying their property taxes, and why is it that they can get away with it?
Well, they can't get away with it. They can't get away with it. You have to pay the tax, man. And basically, it sounds so large because there's so many properties here in the United States. There's 100 million properties, 100 million. Okay, about 3% don't pay. It's only 3%. So that's really not a high a high default rate. However, it won't go below 2.5% because what's going to happen is people are going to pass away, and when they pass away, they don't pay taxes. So the government then has a problem. They have a property that's abandoned, and they don't want abandoned properties. So they'll auction that for the back taxes. So that's one thing that happens. Another thing that happens is when people do pass, they leave it to their children. And many times, youngsters, people under 25 today, don't understand. They've been going to school and they've been having kind of fun life, and they don't understand that we all have responsibility. And the responsibility is we have to pay tax. So they don't, and they lose those properties. So it's only 2 or 3%, but the rest of the world, this is really an alternative investment. This is a very entrepreneurial investment. The hedge funds and the banks are the biggest investors in tax certificates. They're the biggest investors. And we show people how not to compete with them and how to buy after the auction gets over. We teach that so they know how to do it. But this is an entrepreneurial business. Now, the big money in the business is the fact that they also sell property. So the tax certificate is predictable, certain, secure. So you don't have to worry about their money there. They always get paid or they get the property. But 97, 98%, they're going to get paid. All right, the other part of the business is half of the states actually confiscate. I don't know if you use that word, but confiscate means the government takes the property because the people didn't pay their tax. And I'm sure you have the same rule there. You probably call it a different, they probably have a different nomenclature, which would be if you don't pay your bills, they're going to slap your hand with a fine. So here, Americans are ruthless when it comes to taxes. They're ruthless. They say, if you didn't pay, we'll take the property and we'll sell it. Well, who are they going to sell it to? They're going to sell it to Ted Thomas and Emily and people in Australia. They don't care who they sell it to because they just want the taxes. That's all they want. It's a very, very simple system. I could teach this to people in a matter of weeks. We just did a class. We had a woman from Ghana in Africa, mind you. Within 10 days, she was at her first auction in Seattle, Washington. Within 10 days. That's amazing.
Well, for somebody that's been to Ghana, just when the internet started to infiltrate into Ghana, and then there was a trek of kilometres or you would say miles to get to the one and only internet cafe in Ghana, that is a astounding for me to hear that there is a woman in Ghana sitting at her computer making money from this strategy in the US. That is absolutely mind-blowing, Ted.
Absolutely. Well, let me show you a man right now that's doing the same thing from the Canadian provinces. He's never left home. Now, your audience is going to be a little bit shocked. So this man started with me. He started by coming to an event like we're going to do with you. He came to the event and he learned how to do it. All right. And I conducted the event in Canada. He didn't come to the States. He hasn't come to the States. And when you see what he's going to do here, you're going to be astounded. Now, so he lives in the different provinces of Canada. There's a central one right in the middle. It's called Saskatchewan for anybody that wants to look.
Yes.
Now that's where they grow all the wheat.
Bring it on.
Yes, they get lots of wheat and they send it to Russia is what they do. They sell the wheat to Russia. All right, now you're going to see him now, and he's going to describe in 1 minute how he sold his first property, and then I'll do another video right behind it, and it'll show how he did the second property. When you see the amounts of money he made, you're going to say, I don't believe it. And I know you wouldn't, but I wasn't even there during the interview. So here's Kelly.
My name is Kelly Osmack, and I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan. I'm a Ted Thomas student. I had purchased a lot in Riverside County, or Riverside. I purchased it for $35,000, and after I got my title, I listed it. It was listed for a month, and I got a full cash offer of $55,000 US. After that deal, I went to the Kitsap County in Washington and purchased a 5-acre parcel in Kingston, and I paid $131,000 for that property. It had a 1,300 square foot manufactured home and a barn on the property. Really nice property. I had it listed at $280,000, and I received a full price offer in 4 days. I went back to Riverside because it's a great place. I love Riverside for whatever reason. In May, I bought another property. It's in Desert Hot Springs. It's another 5-acre parcel. It's awesome. Yeah, I bought this property for $177,000. 5 acres of land. On Zillow, they had it listed in 2011 for $798,000. There's this house. There's another 900 square foot nanny mother-in-law house. There's outbuildings. It's a beautiful property. I had a realtor go look at it, and he said, "Yeah, it's in, like, from the exterior, looks like it's in decent shape. Depending what the inside is," he said it could range for anywhere from 500 to 800. I'll probably clear 100,000 US on that deal. I've never left my basement office, ever.
Ted, it all sounds really great, but my question, the million-dollar question, which I know is going to be a lot of people's question, if the taxpayer does not pay their taxes back to the government, then why on earth would the government still pay us? Where does that security come from?
Okay, very good. So what you did is Ted said, go to the auction online or come to the States and do it whatever way you want. And you raise your hand online or however, okay, and you bought a certificate. That's a piece of paper. Okay, it's just a piece of paper.
Yes.
All right. So that certificate, now it has your name on it. It says the amount of the certificate, and it has a property number. If if the homeowner does not come in and pay this certificate,
yes,
you get the property.
Wow. Wow.
Without a mortgage.
What?
Without a mortgage. When the auction takes place, it wipes out the mortgage. I can't lie to you. Nobody, you can check it out. When the government seizes a property, they wipe out the mortgage. Unbelievable.